Hi, my friends. Thank you for clicking on this video. It really helps me out. I'm a small channel and that helps me grow. I hope you'll stay tuned to watch my own personal story on high blood pressure. We're going to go over how, why, and what I did to come off the medications and feel like I'm in control of this, and how I use diet and other techniques to do that. So I hope you'll stay tuned to follow through on that. I need to put a warning right here. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionalist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not anything in the medical field. I am not a keto coach yet. This is all from my own personal experience, the consultation with my doctor, and further research that I did that you can actually find on Google. So let's dive into my story. So, story time. All right, I'm going to tell my story of what happened. And from my intro, you've seen that I actually developed high blood pressure after I did keto the first time. So let's back up. Let's find out what happens. I'm going to try to keep this story short because I'm going to be reverting back to my story with some of the other things that I'm going to be saying and some of the things that I did. So we got to back up to September 2017. This is when I started with Whole30 and slid into keto in October of that year. I had a lot of goals. Well, not a lot. I had 3 goals for myself. One of them being I wanted to look good in a wedding dress for my wedding in May. So we're going to fast forward to May. May 5th comes. I've lost 70 pounds and I look pretty good in a wedding dress. We fast forward just a little bit more to the end of May, early June. We go on our honeymoon to the Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Park. While there, I wanted to stick to my keto the best that I could. But, I did try some things like huckleberry ice cream because I know that where I live in Northeast Tennessee, I'm not going to get huckleberry ice cream. And I don't think huckleberries grow here. And if they do, I've not found them. I wanted to try things like elk sausage and ground bison chili, things that I know that I'm not going to have at home. But what I noticed in the month of June was that I started getting more laxed. And I actually gained 10 pounds. So instead of, kind of grabbing the reins and bringing myself back on track, I go off the rails. And because I'm off the rails, I'm eating everything that I haven't ate that I want to eat. So I'm eating a lot of ice cream. Ice cream's my thing. You're going to notice ice cream's my thing. So I'm going to Sonic and I'm having a Sonic Blast. And I'm going to McDonald's every morning to go get my bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, hash brown, and frappe. And we're not talking about a small or medium frappe. No, we're talking large frappe every day. Needless to say, the weight rapidly comes back on. Rapidly. We fast forward to November. Through my husband's work, we have these clinics. Well, a clinic where they have nurses come in. They take our blood draw, they take our weight, blood pressure, and listen to our lungs. My blood pressure was high. It was like 140 over 90. And so we come back in 2 weeks to go over the blood work. And she redoes my blood pressure, and it's like 145 over 91. And not only is my blood pressure high for the first time, my cholesterol is high for the first time. And I want to add, this is the only time my cholesterol has been high because my cholesterol is back under control. I don't know if it was just a fluke, the labs that they use. I don't know. Maybe it was high. I don't know. Okay. So I half-heartedly get back onto keto after the holidays. Half-heartedly. March rolls around. I wake up with my right foot swollen. Like, I could feel that it was swollen, and you could kind of see it was swollen. As the day goes by, it continues to swell. So I end up leaving work early, and I go to urgent care where they take my blood pressure, and it is 170 over 101. Yeah. So obviously to say, I left that day with a diuretic, and they tell me that I need to go see my doctor because my diuretic might need to be increased and see if I need to be on any more medications. So I have my progress notes from my last meeting with my doctor, and it's got all my history in here. So, that day that I go in March, my blood pressure was 164/77. I believe he had a student doctor that day, and he's the one that took my blood pressure, which is probably why he retook my blood pressure. Because when he retook it 10 minutes later, it was 171/119. Needless to say again, I did not leave that office without more medication. So now he's up to my diuretic and I'm on another medication. I go in for my 1 month checkup and my blood pressure was at 140/90. And then we start doing every 3 months and it's kind of hovering there. I finally lose about 30 pounds and my blood pressure is hanging about 130. At this point, he's like, I think we can take you off the one medication, keep you on the diuretic. He says, if you notice that your blood pressure goes up, take a half of that pill, keep it on hand, come in, see me if it doesn't go down. Okay. Now I'm going and having blood pressures taken every 6 months. But I plateaued at that 30-pound weight loss because of work stress. The struggle is real, and I'll be going into that in more detail here in a little bit. And long story short, I'm able to lose another 30 pounds, and I come off the diuretic, and I'm now hitting new weight loss lows. But needless to say, when I got onto that diuretic from that first visit to my doctor visit, I did some research, and I learned real quick what's happening to my body. Like, I am damaging my blood vessels and arteries. And this damage, especially if it's unmanaged, can lead to blockages, leaks, ruptures, and tears. And that's why if your blood pressure is not managed, they fear for brain bleeds and strokes. So I already know at this point, diet change is going to be a big factor in this, okay? And I know what I need to do. I'm already thinking it. And I already know that if I lose 10 pounds, it's probably going to lower my blood pressure by a few points. But I need to avoid fat and sodium. So it's kind of thinking about this already. And I need to limit smoking, drinking, caffeine, and stress. Well, the caffeine, the alcohol, and the smoking, no problem. Don't do it. And I hardly have any caffeine. The stress, on the other hand, that's a different story. The research that I did. Now we're going to talk about my first consultation with my doctor. And he backed up a lot of the research, what I had already done. But he advises me that he wants me to change my diet. So no surprise there. But he wants me to go back to the diet that I was doing that I lost all the weight on. And I said, you do realize that was keto, right? And he's like, yes. He says, I want you to be on a diet that's proven that you have better cholesterol and excellent blood pressure readings. And he says, and if that's what the diet was she was doing at that time, that's what I want you to do. So I do want to point out that I'm glad that he didn't suggest me to do the DASH diet, because the DASH diet is usually what's recommended. I'm not saying that the DASH diet doesn't work, and I'm not saying that it's bad. What I will say is that I'm not sure the DASH diet will eliminate the inflammation in your body to see the best results for helping high blood pressure or diabetes and stuff like that. Because some of the foods that is still suggested be in it, like the grains, fruits, and veggies, and I'm not saying veggies are bad. I'm not, because veggies are good, but some people can't handle vegetables, and it causes a lot of inflammation in their body. So we know grains do, and unfortunately, a lot of fruits do too. So, and we know that medically inflammation causes, with stress, let me add, causes a lot of health conditions. So I don't know to how far the DASH diet would help people. And maybe for some people it helps really well and they just need that. They are not so metabolically damaged that they only need a little tweak to reverse these conditions. But people who are metabolically damaged, I don't know how far you can go with the DASH diet, and then you kind of plateau with your health and weight and stuff like that. That's my only concern with that. And like I said, I've not done it, but I can see from the foods there that that's a big possibility, that I've got to change my lifestyle. Notice I didn't say diet, lifestyle. Since my doctor told me to go back onto keto, I did. But if you've been on keto or know about keto for a little bit, fat and sodium is a very big component to doing keto. You really need to have the higher fat until you're fat adapted. Once you know that you can go from meal to meal without a lot of fat and you're not hungry, that you probably can limit that fat. So that's not a big deal. But sodium is a huge deal on this because it is one of the major components of your electrolytes. And if you're on keto, keto is a natural diuretic. So you are peeing out your electrolytes, which, by the way, your electrolytes of magnesium and potassium actually help relax your blood vessels. So electrolytes is very important when you are having blood pressure issues. And one of the major ones is salt. Have you ever heard of the salt fix? Right here on the very front, it says why the experts got it all wrong and how eating more might save your life. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am going to butcher his last name, so I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to show you the name. I will put the link to the book down in the description. It's a really good read, and I highly advise it because sodium is a huge factor in the diet. So you just got to find the right amount. Obviously, if you're going to fast food and stuff and you're eating the fries and stuff, you're going to get way too much sodium. You actually need about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half, depending on how active you are. So, out of the way. I'm back on track, right? So, start keto. Check. Salt your water and electrolytes. Check, check. Now, here's the next part. I need to start walking again because exercise is a big part of help lowering your blood pressure. So, and another added benefit for keto and walking for me is I have nerve pain in my leg. So, keto helps by being a diuretic and getting rid of that inflammation. And the walking helps bring blood flow back to your legs, which, by the way, also helps edema. So that helps with my nerve pain. All right, so we're going to start that again. I'm also going to start taking D3 and K2. Now, we know, or most of us know, that D vitamins is pretty important, and most people are deficient in D. It's a hormone. It's not really a vitamin. It's a hormone. It's a very important hormone. It helps with your circulatory system and your immunity. Now, D3 is a carrier for K2. A carrier? Yeah. K2 goes in and removes calcium from places it shouldn't be, like your soft tissues and your arteries. Wow. And it's going to go and put them in the bones. So it's very beneficial for your circulatory system, which is very important for your blood pressure. Another thing that we're going to do is keto is going to improve my sleep. Now, don't get me wrong. Keto doesn't let me sleep very well when I first start. But once I get into the groove of it and I get fat adapted, I generally sleep pretty well. I don't have to sleep as long, and I wake up pretty refreshed. And the one thing that I am going to struggle with, and did struggle with, was stress. My work environment was very stressful for me. It may even contributed to my high blood pressure. I'm not sure. I was able to lose that 30 pounds, but my work stress plateaued me. I guess I'd rather be plateaued than it helped me start gaining weight. I did gain and lose the same 10 pounds, But needless to say, when the work stress was low, I was more in control of my keto diet. When the work stress was high, I wasn't as in control, and I would binge, and it would take me about 2 days to get back on track again. So when I didn't have control, I would run for fast food, which is not good for me. And even packing my lunch didn't help, because maybe my lunch was sitting in the refrigerator, and I still run go for fast food. So I really had to rein in my stress, and it was hard. The struggle was real, and I tried different techniques, like, sorry, you can hear my dog. She's getting restless. I worked on deep breathing, counted deep breathing, meditation, Reiki. By the way, I do Reiki. Music therapy, and I did acupressure. I don't know if you follow Dr. Berg or not, but he actually has videos using this. This is his, and you can actually use it like on your neck to help relieve certain points in your neck and your head and your back. And I was trying all these things, but I stayed plateaued. The work stress really bothers me. I think you can see it in my face. In February of this year, 2020, I left that job in February, and I'm going to be the first one to admit it was the best thing that I could do. But that doesn't mean I was stress-free as soon as I left it. No, I struggled. I continued with these techniques of deep breathing, meditation, Reiki, and acupressure. So around April, I finally kind of got a grip on things again. And I just want to mention that stress is accumulative. And that's probably why I had to keep working on it after I had left that stressful situation. But in April, I became very determined that I was going to hit my goal weight, and I was going to get off this medication one way or another. So I get back on track, and I lose 30 more pounds. I go to my doctor in September of this year, 2020, and he says, wow, you've lost more weight and your blood pressure looks great. I says, great. I'm monitoring it at home. I actually have 3 months worth of my pressure rate and my blood pressure, my glucose, and my ketone readings. He's like, no doubt. I know you do. He says, I'm going to take you off the diuretic. He says, continue to monitor it at home. You see any changes, come back in, and we'll see what we need to do. And since then, I've been hitting new weight loss lows. So I'm on the right track. I feel great. So yeah. Keto diet, electrolytes, D3, K2, walking, weight loss has helped me come off the medications for high blood pressure. And it feels great. So maybe some of these techniques will help you too. You was able to stay with me this long. I didn't bore you with my story. And I hope that you got some good information for my story. Because not only did I use diet to make those changes, I used exercise and some techniques that helps with not only your physical, but your mental and emotional and spiritual health. And I think that when you also work on those factors, it helps you change those old patterns and helps you to deal with these situations and stresses better. And I wouldn't say that I have cured my high blood pressure. You could use reverse loosely. I like to say that I'm managing my high blood pressure and hypertension through my new lifestyle changes. Because if I were to stop these lifestyle changes, eventually I'm going to get high blood pressure again. And so, I mean, did I really reverse it if I could potentially get it if I don't continue this lifestyle? That's why I say I don't use those words. I like to say that I've managed it. And I do believe that you can manage blood pressure to come off of medications, because obviously I did that myself. And I also show that if you come off this diet and you do what normal people do when they're stressed, and that's eat, you can develop this condition. So it's just something to ponder about and to think about. So if you like these type of videos and recipes and reviews and versus battles and weekly updates, please like and subscribe. And just remember, your journey begins with you. If you are afraid to take that first step and overcomplicate keto, you're never going to take that first step and start that journey. So just pick a meat, pick a fat, pick a vegetable or two, and get started, because you can always revise and critique the way you do keto to fit you best. Bye, everybody.